Hello, my name is Nelson. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Mission, BC. My story starts with my mother. She immigrated from Vietnam. I grew up in Abbotsford. Growing up, communication with my mother was the hardest. She only knows Vietnamese, and I learned all my English through school. To go home to just food and meet my basic needs through my mother was all I knew. Any sense of family, any sense of conversation and authenticity and real feeling of love was not there. And there was hardship through the abuse of myself and my younger sister, mentally and physically at times. In December of 2017, my mother had called the cops on myself and my sister for a reported attempt at murder. And authorities had come shortly after to check the scenario out. My mother had suffered from psychosis and bipolar behavior. And having no father, having no example to look up to, that affected my decision making. And so I found a big struggle for me was making a lot of mistakes trying to find how to live this life of mine.
When I first started working with Nelson, what I didn't realize was going on in his life was there was a lot of relational issues. There was issues at school to the point where he was getting suspended.
I was 15 years old when I moved to Mission, and very shortly after I moved into my newfound family's home, my foster family. And for the first time ever, I was welcomed with a very warm home-cooked meal. And at the time I thought it was weird, but I look back and it was an incredible act of love.
Go see.
Brew!
But yeah. I'm Kaylee, I'm 22, and I met Nelson 5 years ago.
Having a new set of siblings was challenging. Despite however I felt, these guys became my family.
My first impression of Nelson was that he was really quirky and funny, and I could see how much he cared for his younger sister, which was really cool.
I love Kaylee's relatableness. She's always there for us and whatever we need. She's a really good sister like that.
He is always himself. He has impressed me beyond what I could have imagined he would do for himself. Becoming a barber and going to school and doing all of his acting and all that kind of stuff has been really cool to see. I would definitely call him one of my brothers.
This family is definitely very community-based, and through them I started going to church. And through this church, I've gotten the opportunity to join my passion, which is theater.
My name is Ryan. I'm a youth worker with Greater Vancouver Youth Unlimited. I had been a professional actor for about 5 years, was having a fair amount of success, just was in a real state of depression. I ended up spending 6 months in Australia with a group called YUnite, and that is when I really found the connection between what God had called me to and then what I could do with it. And so I came back, a colleague of mine said, hey, there's this place called Jester's Theatre, which is part of Youth Unlimited. And so it's been about 3 years now, and I've been just trying to head up this theater ministry. My primary role is still as a youth worker. So our motto is to be a safe place to love theater. We are trying to be a place where misfits can come together and be celebrated for who they are. The performing arts has such an amazing ability to break down so many different barriers. When we put God at the steering wheel of that, it did some pretty amazing things.
Ryan Skramstad is very much a mentor and a great example for myself to follow. And he is a loving person by nature.
And when I first met him, he came across as this really happy, really charismatic guy. What I quickly learned is that was covering up a lot of pain. I could tell like God had already been doing things in his life through his foster parents, through other friends that he had, and now God was, I guess, using me at this point to help him reach another level.
Ryan Scrums's presence has been a blessing. I knew from the start he had something to offer. We would go out for coffee when we could, and that'd be going exploring downtown Mission, and if it can go deeper, then he would challenge me.
Probably one of the coolest experiences in terms of my journey with Nelson was watching him kind of go through that change and watching him grow in confidence in himself, in his own purpose, and to see him actually start to have some hope.
I became a barber because it looked so cool on social media. They're having a good time, and the people element.
Everyone has something to offer in this world. Yeah, there's truths to be found in difference of opinion.
One thing that definitely has not changed, which is great, is that Nelson is still a really just fun and energetic guy. I think the biggest difference is it's less used now as a way to hide pain that he doesn't want to talk about. That happiness that he has is more of just a genuine state of where he's at. The difference between a kid who could become homeless or is not really comes down to the type of community they have. If they don't have a supportive community that will help them through the years of getting out of these habits, then more often than not, they're just gonna fall back. That kind of community that will come around them and continue to accept them for their failures, for who they are, and celebrate their successes with them is huge.
Youth are more prone to homelessness when they feel as if they're unsafe.
The reason I really felt like I needed to do this what came from working at the homeless shelter, because I was working with a number of these older guys and older women who had no hope. They had been in the situation they were in for decades, and nothing had ever improved, nothing had ever changed, so why would it ever? Working to give these youth hope that no matter what their situation is, it will improve, and it can improve. But in order for it to do that, you need like a safe community around you that can help it improve. And so if I can be just one part of that safe community, 100%, that's why I'm here.
Youth Unlimited has come together and created such a safe and beautiful and compassionate and confidential space for young people. And like my friends who were 17, 16, 14, 15 at the time, who are now in their 20s or even late 20s, are thriving. And it's like so emotional to talk about for me, because those guys are just doing so good. Yes, I think making a difference is an understatement. I'm like, this saves lives. I 100% believe that Youth Unlimited has saved dozens of youth's lives in my life that are now adults.
The difference that Youth Unlimited makes, in my experience of the kind of decisions that kids will make, really comes down to what we're all about, which is to see the hope and potential of every young person. It all adds up to massive difference in these kids' lives, and we're changing the future when we do stuff like this. So I don't think thank you is enough, but I feel like right now that's all I can give.
Thank you to everyone who's given to YU. The opportunity has been a blessing and has meant everything to me.